What's up, guys? I'm back after like 3 weeks that I disappeared. These last few weeks have been a bit crazy, and I finally had time to create a new video. And today I'm gonna be showing you how I work on a commission. So that means starting from the beginning, gathering references to the sketches and the final render. So, first of all, what I like to do is gather all the information the client sends me. That's being pose ideas, how do they want the character to look like, color palettes, and things like that, since this commission is going to be used for a business and the character will be used for posters, stickers, and similar things. So in this case, they wanted the character to look like they're around 30 to 40 years old, have an average build, Latino, a bit of a tan skin tone, dark brown eyes, dark brown or black hair that's short, slightly wavy, and well kept, optional stubble. The clothings can have a button up or a Henley, and they should be earth tones, an apron with the business's logo that looks like stitching, dark jeans or work pants, leather boots. And the pose that they wanted was the character holding a coffee mug or a coffee scoop. So, once I've gathered all that information, which by the way, I love when I'm sent all the information at once. I like when the client has an exact vision of what they want. It makes it easier for both of us and I can work on it faster. Not having to go back and asking what else do they want. It's much easier if they just send you a document listing everything they want, which in this case that's what happened, so that was awesome. So I started looking for the references and gathering them all in a program I have called PureRef, which is super helpful. What I do is I enter Pinterest because I can find better images in Pinterest, and I just drag the images I like to PureRef, and I can move around the images however I want. I can add text if I need it, and it just helps me to stay super organized so I don't get lost with all the references and ideas that I have going on. So after I've gathered all the references, figuring out what poses I liked, what faces I liked that looked the closest to what they were asking for, I start working on the sketches. Like I've said before, I like sketching quick and loosely on my sketchbook, getting the ideas out and just figuring out what works. And once I like it, I start working on it and polishing it a bit more in Procreate. First, I worked on the faces since I felt it was going to take a bit longer since I was going to do a simple render, unlike the poses, which were going to be faster to work on. I wanted to try to do different face shapes, looking at the references that I gathered and seeing how the eyes, nose, and lips are different, as well as the hairstyle. For some reason, the references I had gathered in PureRef for the faces disappeared. I don't know what happened to that document, so I had to create a new one, but it's pretty similar to what I had. There were a bit more hairstyles, but overall, like, that was kind of the vision, the type of faces and hairstyle. And after the faces, I went to the poses. I wanted to do various so that the client had to choose, as well as the color palettes, kind of keeping it the same and repeating the colors, just adding them in different places. I just wanted it to incorporate the colors, but not adding too many, because if not, it's just gonna get all bungled together and it's gonna be kind of like hard to choose. So I didn't want to like make a massive color palette, just kind of stayed close to what was going on in each pose. Once I finished that, I sent over the client the 2 sketches and they told me which they preferred, so I could begin the final render. So to be more efficient and not have to start over drawing the pose and the face, I just copied and pasted them and put them together in a new document, and from there I started working on the render, polishing everything, adding the lighting, shadows, and details like the logo. Whenever I'm doing these types of things, I like working on a gray background since it's a neutral background. It doesn't affect the colors, and it's easier for me to work on the shadows and lighting without the background affecting it, since sometimes I feel like when I use a white background, the colors look very different to when it's in a different color background, and gray is just a neutral middle color that can be used, and it doesn't hurt your eyes after looking at it for a long time, because sometimes using a white background kind of is painful once you're working on it for a long time. So I prefer just working on that gray background. And that's the final result. I really like how it turned out. It was fun figuring out the tones for the color, drawing different skin tones and facial features, as well as figuring out the poses. Just doing a bit of everything, also helping me practice more. So that was also cool. And it was just a really good time. And if anyone is interested in commissioning me doing something like this, my VGen link is in my bio, so you can enter and see what I have to offer. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Bye!